The brand new Tesla Model 3 refresh is finally here. It's official. I'm going to react to all the new features and give you my thoughts on the brand new Model 3. It looks awesome, but there are some things that, I don't know, kind of questionable. Let's go over the brand new Tesla Model 3 Project Highland Refresh here in 2023, August 31st. Let's go. It's like that every year there's an Apple event and they're like, oh, this is the newest iPhone is the best iPhone ever. Of course it's going to be the best iPhone ever. So this is kind of what I expected. It's gotten better. It's gotten like more aerodynamic, more efficient, gotten better design, more stylish, more luxurious. But it did say that there are 50% parts are new, which is kind of surprising. I didn't expect it to be that much. Big thing when you're first looking at the car is going to stand out is the front end of the car. It just looks a little bit more aggressive. I mean, it just mimics more of a Tesla Model S, but the headlights have been updated. They look really nice. The front has a sort of like an angle to it now. The previous Model 3, of course, was just kind of like a curved front end, and now it has that hard line across the middle. So the new Refresh Model 3 is just taking a lot from the Refresh Model S that came out a couple of years ago. And also another thing to point out about the front, I think you mentioned the fog lights are now gone, but there is a new front bumper camera. Not 100% confirmed, but from the pictures, it looks like there is that new front bumper camera, which I think that was expected because of hardware 4. And the wheels have been updated. They have a slightly newer look, possibly more aerodynamic. There are 2 new colors, the Ultra Red and the Stealth Gray. I'm a big fan of red, obviously. That looks really nice. I'm sure that'll be a popular color. So the back end of the car, the taillights have been updated. They no longer are split in half from the trunk coming up. So the whole entire taillight is built onto the trunk. Looks pretty good. I mean, honestly, these are just small details. I don't look at a car and just I'm like, yeah, those are some nice taillights, man. So, again, these are minor things in my eyes. I guess it's just a fresher look, and that's all it is at the end of the day. It's a refresh. It's not like a completely new car. So they've refined some things, refreshed some things, and it does look a little different and new, and I think that's going to get a lot of people excited. So the interior is where it gets really fun. It has new ambient lighting across the dash, has a newly designed center console, also a newly designed dashboard where the vents are. It just looks more angular, a little bit more futuristic, and you can, I think you can have different colors for that dashboard as well, or the dash. And there is ambient lighting on the side of the doors, the interior doors as well. But here is the most polarizing part of the new car, the steering wheel. There are no stalks, and we kind of saw this coming, at least some people did, because obviously they did this for the Model S and Model X. They removed the stalks, and now it's just touch capacitive buttons for the turn signals built onto the steering wheel. I drove a Model S without the stalks a couple years ago for a brief time, just like a few hours. Very weird, very strange to try to get used to, but it is hard to break that habit of driving for however long, years and years of having stalks. It's just, I think I'm a stalk guy. I mean, I think I'm old school. I love the minimalist design of the Model 3. That's one thing that drew me to it when I first got it. But at some point, come on, you got to draw the line. And I'm a big fan of stalks. They work, and they're not intrusive. I've never had a problem. I've never thought my car experience would be way better if I didn't have these stalks right here, these 3-inch stalks on either side that really help and are very easy to use and are intuitive. I hope this doesn't draw a lot of people away, potential buyers, just because it is quite a big change. And I think that's the biggest, the biggest question mark in my mind when I'm looking at this new Model 3. So obviously the materials have been updated and more refined. They're better quality, higher quality. And one of the big things is having the acoustic glass on the rear doors, the windows on the rear doors, as well as the rear panel glass on the roof. It looks like Tesla really dedicated a lot of time and effort to reducing the road noise. If I could be really nitpicky about my Model 3, it's yeah, the road noise is fairly loud. And I have the first generation Model 3, so I don't even have the acoustic panel glass on any of my windows. So I think this car will be leaps and bounds better than my 2018 Model 3 as far as the road noise goes. They've also improved the suspension of the Model 3. That is something that really never stood out to me, just because I'm not a huge stickler when it comes to that. I do think my Model Y rides better than my Model 3 sometimes. So the screen is the same size, but it is brighter and more responsive, even though it's running the same processor as before. My screen on my Model 3 for the past 5 years, totally fine. I've never had a thought in my mind saying, oh yeah, the screen needs to be better. It's bright enough for what I've had. Never had a situation where I think it's not bright enough. It's been very responsive. 5 years later, it's still really responsive. But of course, this will be a nice upgrade. It's always good to have faster touchscreens if possible. And then Also, this does bring on another improvement with the ventilation system. With the vent up front, you can now toggle on or off the passenger side or the driver's side vent and fans, which you couldn't before and I can't currently do on any of the Model 3s, which is really funny. Better phone calls, better Bluetooth, better Wi-Fi. These are things that are minuscule in the most part for the most part. Like I've never had anybody complain about the Bluetooth quality when I'm talking on the phone. And here I think it's just getting to the point where it's just like making something that's already so good slightly better with the sound system. It's adding 3 more speakers. Even though we've had 14 speakers, it's going to 17 speakers. The sound system in my Model 3 and all Model 3s up until now has been completely, like, insanely good. But the big thing that I did not see coming and I didn't hear about, I don't recall, is like there is a screen now in the rear. So there's a rear-facing passenger screen on the back of the center console, just like with the Model S and the Model X. That is going to be a huge benefit. If you have kids, it's going to help them hopefully be entertained while they're in the back. So that is a really nice feature. This, by far, is the best feature in my opinion, and the one that if I could change something on my Model 3, it would probably be this. The ventilated seats. They are now perforated. All the seats are perforated in the Model 3, but then the front seats are heated and ventilated, so they will cool in the summer, and my goodness, that is going to be a game changer for people buying the Model 3. It's something that I wish I had in my car. Probably the second best thing, in my opinion, about this car is the efficiency got even better. I mean, the Model 3 was already a super efficient car, but now it is up to 8% more efficient just from the exterior design and styling. They haven't done anything to the motors or batteries, but it's basically just more aerodynamic. The drag coefficient has improved, and you're getting better range and better efficiency. 346 miles on the rear-wheel drive estimated range and 423 miles of estimated range on the long-range Model 3. There is no indication of a performance Model 3, which is interesting, but I believe these are probably in the WLTP range. It's not EPA, which is what the US uses, so these numbers are probably a little bit higher than what the EPA will be, but still absolutely incredible. Like, I've been begging for like 400 plus mile range EVs standard, right? And you're starting to see this with a Hyundai Ioniq 6 that has 400 plus miles of estimated range. This now has 400 plus miles of estimated range. Incredible. That is a huge step for EVs and for people who have range anxiety or have some type of fear about that. I mean, this is going to be huge for people in the wintertime, traveling long distances. I mean, that is awesome. That is one of the best features about this car. So it's on sale in Europe next month in October. We don't know when it's going to be in the US yet. It sounds like it's coming very, very soon. I'm super excited to see this, and it's just, it happened quite fortuitous because I just released a video about my dilemma of upgrading to this Model 3 and replacing my current Model 3 that I swore I would keep for 10 years. So this made my decision even harder. What do you think about this new Tesla Model 3 refresh in 2023? Project Highland, it's finally here. Awesome to see. It looks like it's going to be a great car. I hope to see it around soon if I don't get one, and I will definitely try to get my hands on one for you so I can review it for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.